Hi, this is Meta Spencer, and we're going to South India today to a place where some dear friends of mine have a training facility to teach people how to be good Gandhians. And I need some help with that. So they're going to train me, and you can get in on the deal. They are Jill Carr-Harris, who is a Canadian who's been living in India for 40 some years and who is going to be my successor. So Jill is in Madurai, India, and she's sitting beside her husband, Rajagopal. And we call him Rajaji, which is a kind of a thing that's typical in India. They add this term J-I to somebody's name when they want to express their respect and affection. So he's Rajaji. And I want to greet both of you. And we're going to talk about the World Social Forum because they are involved in planning for the next one. And so we get a preview of what they have in mind. So Rajaji, why don't you start off by telling us what you know, having been on some of these planning sessions.
Mehta, this is the background is that this was parallel to World Economic Forum. This is almost like saying life is not all about money and business. Life is also about many other things.
Yeah.
And that is how the World Social Forum began. We are wanting to look at society and people and life, and not only about business and money. So the civil society actors across the globe came together in Brazil for the first time. Right then, every second year.
Now, wait a minute. How long ago was that? Like 20 years ago, at least, wasn't it?
2001 was the first one.
When?
First one. And then it got repeated after every second year.
Mm-hmm.
And once it was held in Montreal, in Canada, 2016. And last time it was in Nepal. So this is an opportunity for civil society actors to come together from different parts of the world. But at the end, we don't pass any resolution. We are providing a platform for people to come together and deepen their own understanding about the work they are doing and also learn from other experiences. So it is basically to help the civil society actors to deepen their work, expand their work, and be more politically engaged. It is not just charity work. In our Gandhian circle, we always say the voluntary organizations and leadership should be example for political leadership. So this is a challenge, how voluntary organizations and civil society organizations can influence policies and programs of government so that the government start addressing the problems at the bottom. Even after so many years of work, we continue to speak about poverty, continue to speak about discrimination and violence and climate crisis. So I think there is a lot more to be done. And this responsibility is on the shoulders of those who are heading voluntary organizations and civil society organizations. So it's a very responsible forum where people come together to articulate what need to be done in order to make the world a better place, right? And not only promote business and exploit people, but also do things in a way that people can feel the impact of all the policies and programs in their life in terms of getting out of poverty and deprivation. And the result was good. If you look at Brazil, after 2 World Social Forum, Lula was brought into power. The society was so organized. They wanted a leadership that is caring for people. And that, so World Social Forum and its actors played a role in bringing Lula to power.
That's interesting. Now, wait a minute. Let me try to remember what the government was like when they had the first one, though. Who were they? I can't think back to what the government was like before Lula.
I think the civil society actors were, I mean, Lula was the one who allowed World Social Forum to happen in Brazil and supported the World Social Forum in a big way.
Mhm.
And so he was getting influenced by civil society in a big way in terms of his policies and programs, you know. So, and this relationship between state and civil society actors got established so well. And we were all inspired by how the civil society and the government of Brazil were working together in terms of pro-poor policies. So this is an example of how
Mhm.
two can come together, rather than fighting each other.
Mhm.
Government looking at voluntary organizations and civil society organizations as enemies or opponents or anti-developmental groups. Two, people who are committed for social issues related to ordinary people. So government has a responsibility to listen to them and change policies according to what the civil society is asking for. That example can be seen in a relationship between the Lula government and civil society in Brazil.
Mhm.
Initially, it was very sharp, maybe not now as sharp as it used to be because of global realities. But initially, it was very, very good. And we were very happy about that relationship. And we were trying to see whether civil society can be motivated in every country, in every part of the world to play that role, that crucial role of influencing government, influencing the United Nations. So that is very, very important. So I see
So,
World Social Forum
may
as
I
a
ask
very, very
about how you decide who's going to come? Do you have organizations that apply to participate that get rejected? That you say, no, we are not looking for your kind of people. We want somebody different. How do you decide whether if I applied and said I want to send you to be my or some Jill to be my Project Save the World's delegate to the World Social Forum, what would they say? Do they want to vet me and make sure that Project Save the World would be a suitable outfit, or what would they do?
So, Meta, there's an international organizing committee, and then there is a national organizing committee that would organize the World Social Forum in whichever country. So the first one, as Rajaji pointed out, was in 2001 in Porto Alegre, Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
The third one was actually in India and Bombay. We participated in that. The one in 2016 was in Montreal. The one last year, the 16th, used to be every year, then it became every 2 years. Last year was the 16th, it was in Nepal. And this year, it's in Benin, West Africa. So there's a process which the countries are chosen for the subsequent year of the World Social Forum, and their organizing committee will help to get money and get people into a process of planning. Then they set up a website, and anybody can apply through the registration process. And I suppose there may be some vetting if it looks like it's a group that does not follow the broad mission of the World Social Forum, which is a mission of social justice, peace and equity, a very general mission. But obviously, anyone that doesn't look like they'd fall into that mission may be not given space. The idea is the World Social Forum Committee gives space. People come and set up their own little programs and lectures and panels and tents and put up their materials. So there's I think at the Nepal one last year in 24, there was 50,000 people that came. Generally, that's the average for the last few years, about 50,000 people. And it's an incredible opportunity for networking and interacting, but there's very little control by a centralized authority. It's much more people come and they share. They pay for the expenses of their coming. So that's how it works.
Okay. Now, you make it sound like a bunch of little individual stalls or camps or tents around. And is it but individuals can go as attendees without having an organization. It's both for organizations and for individual
Correct.
okay. And if I went on my own, I would wander around for 2 or 3 days, sort of visiting all of these little boutiques of civil society. Okay, but you probably, I'm sure you must have also some plenary sessions, is that right?
Lots.
Many. I think people through the website you can select which are the discussions in which you want to participate, and you can register. So institutions can register, individuals can register. So there is a lot of mutual learning happening. People go because of their interest in different subjects, and they want to deepen their own interest, their own knowledge about that subject. So it's a open platform where you get a lot of opportunity to learn what you want to learn, but you also get interested in many other activities because there are many other things happening simultaneously. Yeah. So it's a interesting platform for people.
It sounds like
learn
the best kind of networking opportunity anywhere if you happen to be into the I guess I'd say this is for sort of people-based organizations, right?
Yeah.
For people concerned about poverty and justice and things of that kind.
Peace.
Yeah, it's not focused very much, I assume. Let me ask you, the people who are working on international projects or high-tech projects, they're not as much represented. Is that right?
Well, if they're coming to talk about AI as a public discussion, space is there for them to come. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, but do they come? I'm asking who actually comes.
They come.
They come.
They come.
I mean, there's a lot of people that come that have multiple concerns about the future. Oh, yes. About maybe 10, 15 years ago, they came up with the aphorism, another world is possible. So it's an imagining of a better world, and people come to explore how to get to that better world, whether it's avoiding threats or it's helping local communities or whatever it is. So it's a very broad, open, as opposed to Davos, which is seen as closed. You need so much money to go. This is very open. It opens itself for grassroots leaders, for NGOs, for educational institutions, many, many different kinds of actors.
Okay.
Journalists.
Now, when you said Davos is closed, you mean they wouldn't let somebody like me go if I wanted to, or that I just don't have enough money to go?
Enough money.
So I could go if I had enough money.
Sure.
It's open to individuals theoretically on the same basis as the World Social Forum, but in reality, I've heard how
It's
fancy it
exclusive.
is. Yeah.
Definitely.
And Mehta, comparatively, I mean, initially, the number of people who participated in World Social Forum was very, very high. You know, we had 200,000 people, 100,000 people, but the 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 international organizations used to help this process. But then now international NGOs are also finding it very difficult to find enough money to help people to travel. The number is coming down now. So we have come down to 50,000 now. And we don't know how many people will come to Davos. So that Benin, yeah. So this huge possibility that voluntary organizations and civil society organizations used to enjoy in terms of learning and networking, that is now diminished because the international organizations are not in a position to finance such processes. Yeah.
Well, yes, but my memory also was early in those days, I was actually considering going but I remember looking at Puerto, what's the name? Porto
Alegre.
Alegre. And learning that I would probably have to take a room about 10 miles out of town because there were so many people coming that there was no accommodation. So I didn't go because at that time I already had a little arthritis. So I wouldn't have been able to handle it. But I think they tend to hold these meetings in places where they're not used to hosting 200,000 people, right? And maybe that got to be kind of difficult. I know that can be the problem with the COP meetings too.
This time, Meta, something very interesting happened, which was someone we trained. We went to Senegal in 2013 to do a training on nonviolence. And we met a group of people, one man in particular, who later came to India for training in nonviolence. He became the co-lead with another woman of this year's World Social Forum. So he contacted us and said, look, I want you to bring that which you taught me to a larger number of people in the World Social Forum. So we said, okay, what will that look like? And after a discussion, we thought we would start a peace forum within the World Social Forum. We thought this would be a good opportunity for us to raise the issues in French Central and West Africa of peace and nonviolence. And so it was agreed, but then we were struggling because we're from India. It's, a very far from where we are. But it so happened that we met a woman who had been formerly the defense minister of the Central African Republic. And she, during her 2 terms as a defense minister, was interested in how you build human security and not just procure military arms and build an army. So she was a novel, let us say, defense minister, and she left her post for various reasons and started, after she left the government, she started a group in 15 countries across Africa called Rethinking African Security. And the rethinking was, how do you train youth in not picking up guns, but in finding other ways to mediate disputes? How do you work with local communities to become more resilient and resistant against the terrorism that exists in so many African countries? How do you get women to play a stronger role in peacemaking? So this group got introduced to us, and the head, this woman, former defense minister, whose name is Marie Noel Coyoro, Marie Noel, you can look her up, Coyoro, she decided that we should together put together this peace conference in Benin, and she would bring government and non-governmental colleagues to this peace meeting that she believed would be very helpful in the follow-up and through her own organization in promoting human security. So we got an alliance about 6 months back, and we began, and she said to us, what we need is we need something about Gandhi's methods, because we have ejected the French from many of the West and Central African former French colonies, but there's been a vacuum, and often we see, the Russians coming in, the Wagner Group, and various other Chinese actors, American actors, European actors, but they're there for their own agenda. And we really need to work on a process of building up people's capacities for peace in the country. And so she said, that's where Gandhi gives us an orientation, a direction. We would like you to bring a group of Gandhians from India to join with us in this peace conference so that we can do education with the 50,000 people who are coming, but also our own people within the Rethinking African Security Network. So this is how it came about. And we're now in the process of raising money, and are happy that Project Save the World is another platform where we can let people know that this is happening on the first week of August this year. So that's running from the 4th to the 8th of August in Cotonou, Benin, which is a coastal city, quite close to the capital city.
Spell the city.
It's Cotonou, C-O-T-O-N-O-U, Cotonou.
Cotonou, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I don't think I've ever heard of it before. It must not be a very large city.
It is not a large city.
No.
How are they going to accommodate 50,000 people?
That was the challenge. Now, the reason it was picked, so Benin was formerly a province of Nigeria, which became independent. So it's on the west side of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it was had its freedom or first government around the 70s, as far as I remember, but it has had more or less a peaceful transference of power. And it is known to be democratic. So the people picked that, the Africans picked that place because it was a good location. It was, they believed it to be safe, and it had this history of a peaceful transition of power, where many African states do not have that history.
Okay, great. Okay, so now
and the government is trying to help by constructing hotels and airport, so there is a good collaboration with the government, and they are also pleased to see the World Social Forum happening in Benin. So that makes it easy to work together with the government.
I should have mentioned your organization when introducing you. I didn't think of that. It's Ekta Parishad, and then you have this other
Jai Jagat.
Jagat.
So Ekta Parishad is Indian-based and works on Gandhian lines. And Jai Jagat is international with many collaborating organizations that are basically following Gandhi and the ideas of nonviolence and peace.
Which is the organization that is responsible for this? Is it Ekta Parishad?
Jai Jagat with the help of Ekta Parishad.
Together, yeah.
Okay.
The concept is another world is possible. So for Africa, they want to see how to get out of conflicts, so much conflicts and violence and killing and rivalry. And this is not how you build another world. If you want to build another world, you need a peaceful situation where people sit down and think about a better future. So through this peace forum, we would like to train some young people into nonviolence and peace, but then there will be many sessions in which we are going to discuss how to deal with conflict. See, and who are the people who can deal with conflict. So the sessions are built that how women can play a role in dealing with conflict, how traditional leadership can play a role in dealing with conflict, how young people can deal with conflict. Because what is ultimately needed for Africa today is to have many people who can help in dealing with conflict and resolving conflict so that peace can come back. And as a result of peace, prosperity can come back. So that is the main agenda around which we will be working for three or 4 days. Within the World Social Forum, we will put together a peace forum, global peace forum. Yeah, that is the idea.
And you will, okay, but now this woman that you mentioned, her organization, she's not in the government now, right? She does have an organization. What's the name of her? Or I assume that you've got a partnership with her.
Say that again.
It's RAS, Rethinking African Security.
I see. And she's
in partnership with the Peace University.
Yeah. So they've been running a University of Peace since 2002 or 3, which is a mobile university course for 6 weeks every year to train people in peace. So this has been a collaborative effort between Germany and 3 African countries, Rwanda, Central African Republic, and Cameroon. Out of this mobile peace university came already a group of people interested in looking at security differently, looking at human security and not just military security. When they heard about our work in India, they kind of latched onto it as looking at peace and security, nonviolence and security, taking some of the ideas of Gandhi, because Gandhi frames peace in development, right? Frames it in terms of how a village can develop. An individual within a village can develop more peacefully. And so these ideas, they didn't have. They were more around security. They found this a very interesting complement to what they were doing and sort of sought us down, sort of sought us out rather, and said, we really want to have a partnership with you. And the World Social Forum just became an opportunity for this partnership. There's a combination of African and German teachers and trainers. And I think they've gone quite far in helping Africans to to see how important peace is at the community level, that they have to have their indigenous perspectives of peace and not just import ideas of what peace looks like and so on. And it's given them a lot of confidence and framing that has come from their contexts. And it helped be a defense minister, like a former defense minister, to realize that peacemaking is critical and not just military defense. So these are all advancements, I think, that the University of Peace has made.
And in this collaboration, of course, we will bring a bit of Gandhi and Gandhian ideas to Africa, but I think we are also going to learn from her experience of African experience of looking at security, not only as border security, but people security, security from poverty and hunger and education. So I think it's a very important thing for many countries to learn from and articulate it with their own states.
Will there be people coming from current conflicts, coming with their problems and asking for help? Would this be a place where somebody who could, I think, for example, now is it Mali that's now receiving lots of refugees and so on? Maybe there you get some applicants for assistance in solving real current problems. Do you know whether
I think so, Meta. I think so, because they are 16 state-based organization, and many of those states have conflicts. And we are bringing together 50 African youth for training within this peace forum. The idea is to identify and select 50 from their networks, many of which have conflict, deep conflict, because conflict is very pervasive. Border conflicts, civil unrest, et cetera, resource conflicts. So they have a big constituency, for instance, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And you can appreciate the dimensions of conflict, and so on. So Rwanda, Cameroon, which is now in conflict, and so on. So I think we'll have these 50 young people, probably who have either witnessed conflict or been combatants or now see themselves as trying to do something differently. We will be directly in touch with them. And I think that's the exciting part.
Is this the group that will be chosen by this lady with the RAS or Rethinking African Security?
That's correct.
She's going to pick these people.
Correct. Their network will pick the 50 young people.
And they're not young people who've already been doing peace work. They're going to be people who are starting from the base level of where they've been in conflict and they want to figure out how to get out of it.
Well, there may be a variety of different types. I was quite impressed when she talked about Central African Republic, how she has built many peace groups already. So it's to do civil defense, to help with the communal tensions between Muslims and Christians.
A bit of hope.
Yeah, and so already I think and through this University of Peace, they already have some already trained, and then there's probably some others that will be more neophytes or, new to the process. So we probably get quite a mixture, is what I gather. But the interesting thing is, Mita, in the morning, we will work on sort of Gandhian nonviolence and capacity building. In the afternoon, we'll work on alliance building. And the RAS will have a particular interest in helping to build social alliances. So this is what we're planning together. And now, if I could just make a little plug, we are looking for small resources to pay for this African youth travel and accommodation, and really feel that this is a very worthy step to take right now when you look out over so many African countries and the kinds of conflicts they're facing.
Oh, yeah. It is certainly a worthy thing compared to what they're probably already involved with. Yeah. Okay. Give me a little larger picture of the whole operation. I think, Rajaji, you went to, where were you? In Kuala Lumpur, or you went someplace to a meeting planning. Where?
That was in Thailand.
Thailand. And there was a planning meeting for different organizations like Jagat that will be sponsoring their own delegations. Is that right?
See, before the World Social Forum, there will be regional forums and country forums. This is not just one place where people come together. Before you come to a World Social Forum, at the national level, you can meet. At the regional level, you can meet. So the one that I went to was the South Asia and Southeast Asia Peace Forum, right? We all came together. We were about 5,000 people maybe. And so this is a local dynamic. So we are not all rushing to Benin to learn from each other. We're also trying to see how one can learn from their own country, from their own region, how we can network at the national level, at the regional level, and go up to the international level to network. So this is a process. There's a process behind this World Social Forum. So I was in Bangkok, and it was very, very interesting. A lot of people came from many South Asia and Southeast Asia countries, and we had very interesting discussion because this was the time when a lot of changes were happening. If you remember the change in Bangladesh, change in Nepal, the young people were
Gen Z.
They were very active, and in many cases it turned out to be violent in some of these cases. So we wanted to look at it. There is so much unrest among the young people because of poverty and unemployment, but that unrest is being expressed sometimes very violently, and they are very unhappy about the way state is being run, right? The governance system, they are very unhappy about. So we wanted to really look at what is happening in the region, and probably we will bring some of those lessons into the World Social Forum debate and discussions.
When you went to this thing in Thailand, how was that set up, and what did you get from it?
See, in Bangkok, we had organized some non-violent training programs of our own. There were sessions that we were conducting, but we were also invited into other sessions where they were discussing about slums and slum-related problems, urban issues, and migration. So different forums will invite you to speak. So these are opportunities for you to learn. And finally, there is a big plenary where some of these crucial issues come up for larger debate. And that is what people take back. There is no final resolution, but through these discussions and debate, you can filter out something that you can take back when you go back to your own country. Like, what will you do with slums and slum-related problems? This is not something on which Ekta Parishad is working on a day-to-day basis. But that was a very interesting learning for us. How do you address when young people are so restless and they want change, drastic change through violent methods? How do you handle this if it happens in your own country? How are you going to address this issue? So many learning. End up thinking, oh, there are so many interesting things happening. You don't have time to go to everyone, every forum. But it is full of happening, full of happening. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what this makes me think about is how Project Save the World could contribute to any of that. I mean, we're not going to be sending people to the World Social Forum.
What we might think about is doing a video session from the World Social Forum, with maybe some interesting panelists to speak about their actual engagement with the issues they're working on.
That would be clearly something we should aim for. But maybe we could do something even earlier in terms of inviting some contacts before the meetings with some of the groups that you already have, you're in touch with. I mean, for example, we have these study groups going on now, and some of them are probably, I don't know that any of the World Social Forum people would be interested in some of these studies, but there could be. I mean, there might be people will there be people, for example, going to Benin to talk about climate or to talk about the global economy as and so on. Well, now, if there are people already organizing for that and you have their addresses, maybe we could see if they would like to be participants in the study group and promote their own points of view and
it's very doable, I think.
We can, So sometimes it is very, very interesting, Mehta. During my visit to Bangkok, many journalists approached me for interview. One of the best article was written by a Pakistani journalist about my work in India. So it brings you closer. All those regional conflict sometimes get resolved because you talk in a way that the journalists feel that a story of this kind should also go to Pakistan so that they can learn from it. In our own experience, when we had similar workshops in Georgia, initially the Armenians and Azerbaijanis refused to stay together in the same room. But once they stayed together, they became such a good friends, and then they became ambassadors of peace later on between Azerbaijan and Armenia. So these are very interesting opportunities which one should explore, how relationship can be built across the globe by a younger generation. Yeah.
Well, tell me where you're going from here. The steps that you are taking to prepare for this, and maybe there are people watching the video who might be in a position to go or to support what you're doing in some way, or to find, get some connection to you.
We are in a joint coordinating committee now.
Is there a website yet?
We will get it on the World Social Forum website, but it's not yet on. So we have a separate page that we can direct you to get the information until such time as it's on the World Social Forum website. The World Social Forum website has been constructed but is not finalized.
I'm curious about whether or not you, all of the groups that go there are basically compatible. I mean, you say you would steer people away from coming if they were not in alignment with the overall goals of the World Social Forum. But there are very different perspectives and approaches that people can take about, or at least priorities about what different groups think need to be done first or most urgently. And I wonder if these issues get hammered on during the World Social Forum. Do people from different points of view get together and talk about their differences?
Yeah, I think that's the whole idea, is to get diverse actors together into dialogue. So that's the whole idea. And there's many diverse views. politically diverse, as you say, priorities of issues are different. Yeah, and it's across language, culture, context, because you have people from all over the world coming together. So, yeah, I
Well,
think
for
there is a
example, you were at the meeting in Nepal last time, right? And
yes.
I mean, you wrote an article for Peace Magazine, but you never mentioned any of the. What I wondered, would like to know is not what goes on stage, but what goes on in the coffee shop before and afterwards between the leaders of these different groups who don't
Yeah.
necessarily agree with each other.
The actual organizing committee itself had a lot of divisions,
Oh,
because they're not all of one mind. So they're the organizing committee having all their internal divisions and difficulties getting a kind of agreement to make things work. Then you have many different types of groups that come together, some who like each other, some who don't, some who agree with each other. But the idea is to give people space to be there, number one, to be present, and to set up panel discussions, and then they'll set up different kinds of discussants who also don't agree with each other. And so the audience is getting multiple views. I think that the diversity is very rich, and there are arguments. There was in our particular meeting, I think one man walked out. He was not happy with the way we were framing the issue. And so it was sort of clear that there was different viewpoints, vying viewpoints. So I think this is the beauty of it. And sitting in coffee shops, there's a lot of. So the Nepal one was interesting because the Nepal government opened many Indian dissidents to come and speak. And you can appreciate the Indian government probably was not very happy about that, So layers of division were there, and it makes it very, very interesting.
But there is also this debate meta now about the relevance of World Social Forum itself. It's like one debate is that, see, we are not able to stop the globalization process, the mechanization, marketization, this process which are taking away the resources and creating more poverty and misery for millions of people in the name of development. So the basic idea was a different world is possible. We can construct a different world. And one is questioning that in a globalizing world where economy has become the most important thing, is this really possible to create a different kind of world order? So this is a very, very lively debate within the movement. And some people may stay away saying that, look, World Social Forum is not going to answer all these questions, but others are still very enthusiastic and want to come and network, explore possibilities to work together to really make the world different.
Well, you just pointed out, made me think about one of the big issues that we're facing. Well, Project Save the World spends a lot of time on, and that is AI and the influence of AI on things like development and the world economy and the job market, and whether people, all of how people are going to find a living if their jobs are taken away, and all of those issues that are secondary. They're not the most important. In a way, in the shorter term, they're not as important as a question of whether AI is going to take over. and make decisions for human beings or instead of human beings, that is the most important question. But in the immediate term, those are the issues that are coming up now. And and I think there's still no consensus about what to think about this. But I would think if you're worried about figuring out what to do about AI in order to save jobs for people, I wouldn't have thought the World Social Forum is the place to go to talk about it. But maybe it is. Do you think there will be that kind of conversation there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is on the top of everybody's mind.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very key concern. Very key concern in the public discourse.
Yeah. This is yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
Jill, you were saying that it's especially true in India. Is that the case, that Indians are now especially worried about the impact of AI?
Oh yes.
Mm.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Because
you've got a pretty educated population in India, and you have a huge computer technology industry. So you may have seen that India hosted the most recent AI conference where people from around the world came because they want to obviously take the advantage of their the human resources that they have, coupled with being an economy that is more open than China and cheaper to, bring new ideas together. So they're trying to really get in the center, but, this is, this, apart from the promotion of the Indian government, many people are looking at this as a real problem for employment, for, as you say, the future of humankind. So, yes.
Well, I know that at least in terms of reputation, I think that we have the impression, and I'm pretty sure it's valid, it's true, that Indians are really good at that, at the kind of learning and mastering the kind of technology involved with the internet and all of these call centers that they've had for the last few years. But even, as I understand it, a large proportion of these new AI centers employ Indians. I mean, many Indians are part of the engineering so to lose those positions would be a big setback. But now, how does that connect, if it does at all, with the kinds of projects that you do? Because you work mostly with village young people, teaching them basic handicrafts and agricultural technological methods and so on. How does do those people have any concern about the AI issue?
See, much of our work is with indigenous people of India, and they were struggling for land for many years. It's like they want to begin. They are not into IT. They just want to begin their life by becoming farmers. And if you have become farmer, then you can educate your children, get on to new jobs, etc. So they really want to begin because they lost control over land and livelihood resources because of various other realities, including the globalization process where mining industries pushed them out and many other industries came and pushed them out. Now, so people through their many years of struggle have now got land. I will say within our own organizational circle, there are some 400,000 people now who received land and they are new farmers. So our work is mainly to see that this land is brought under cultivation, and those cultivation is organic farming, and they get market support wherever they need. So imagine working with 400,000 people takes a lot of energy, to all these years it was struggle. Now this is more constructive work. It's like making the land really productive and also linking them with the market. So we are into this new idea of forming hundreds of land trusts that will help these people to stand on their own. But the middle class who are already into employment market after getting educated are very, very concerned about this new perspective that AI will come and much of the jobs will be done gone, just will be gone. So that concern is a huge middle class concern in India, because they were all traveling to England and America and Canada doing computer jobs and IT jobs, and they think they are going to lose that job and opportunities. So the middle class is highly concerned by that.
Is there any consensus there? Because my impression is that here there isn't even yet any agreement about how much one has to expect job opportunities to be constrained. And I don't know whether the people in India have a common point of view about what they can expect or what they think is inevitable, or is there still discussion? There are people here who say, "Well, don't worry, you've got a long time before you have to worry about your job, whatever it is. There are a lot of jobs that will be available," or that some people will say, "Oh, there are going to even be more jobs, because for every job that gets taken away by AI, there'll be a replacement with some new job that's even better." So I don't know what to believe. I can't believe the latter point of view, but how bad it's going to be is another question. And I just wonder if the people in India have a common expectation or not.
Very new. We're very new in this. So no, I don't think there's
A common understanding.
Or clarity yet. There's just a sense of fear, looming fear, that things are about to change.
Well, and we are about to change because we have to end this conversation. Although I just don't want to stop. I always love talking with my dear friends. So it's been fascinating, and definitely I look forward to having you back here in 2 or 3 months and spend your summer with me. So
We would love to.
what you're doing is so important that I send you my love.
Thank you, Mehta.
See you, Jay. Bye.